simplifying the setup just so we can spend more time on the switches and on the attacks and on the setup itself. But you guys remember here the difference between the warm, where I have the grip, I'm able to really break free, but warm is where I only have the lasso, right? And ring warm when I'm able to go behind and I have the leg. So you can feed it like how I just did, going lasso and then behind the leg. But I've been just having you guys do it straight from the sit-up, so it's a little bit easier. And we get here right away, go down, start using the heel, right? My partner can drop that knee and just keep facing me. I'm gonna get the grip underneath, right? So I use that heel to move my hip out. Remember, even if we're not looking for the switches or the attacks that I'm gonna do right now, if I'm looking to go under, I can be here. If I'm here, sometimes that's why you guys end up getting the palm up grip over the top. You do everything, you get shin to shin, and then in the end you're like, man, why is it not working? Why is my partner walking that side? Because you went over the top. If we're going over the top, I'd rather have a palm down grip so that my elbow connection here is stronger and I can work more scissor sweep style to the other side. But because we're going to go underneath, I'm going to use my foot, my heel, my toes to get off to the side so that it's a lot easier for my hand to go in between his leg and mine. And now, yeah, I can start feeding, right? One thing it's important you guys learn too is the shin to shin. From different positions I can use the shin to shin, but the concept is going to be the same. If my partner is driving into me, even if it's not that much, but a little bit of a drive, okay, when I get a shin to shin and I kick forward, I can clear no problem. But go back to this. If my partner has more weight on that back knee, he's sitting back more, okay, I can find a shin to shin, but I'm going to have to bring him in so that my shin to shin works. If you get shin to shin and there's no pressure on it, you're not going to feel like you're able to clear. So just keep that in mind, right? One thing that I talked about last night a lot is this. I saw some people doing this. We use the pendulum, right? We already understand that the pendulum is going to help me get my hip up, and I'm going to slide through and close my guard, right? But I want to make sure that Guy's arm stays in front of me. So you see how, even though I had his sleeve, I ended up with his arm in front of my chest here. I don't want to use the pendulum, do everything, and then when I go up, pull his arm up and go like this. It might feel like it's better because we have, oh, okay, I have his elbow here on my armpit, I can put a lot of pressure, but I feel that that's going to allow Guy to kind of hug my waist and start bringing me back down. And if my hip goes down, now he can kick back, and a lot of times he's going to end up breaking my grip. So instead of trying to get that arm around you, just make sure that we're here, you use this sleeve grip, get momentum. He's stuck. There's nowhere for him to go. So don't be in a rush and trying to go right away. Take your time, porra. Go up and down. When your toes go up, your hip lifts, you extend through. And we're just trying to lock our feet together, okay? The higher my leg is, so the closer to his head it is, the better. See how I'm forcing Guy's head to go down? That's a lot better for me to go shin over armbar, for me to dive back under and do the sweep that we're working. If you guys end up here, he's going to be able to square off a lot better. You're not going to have as much power. It is still a good position because depending on how much force I can generate by pendulum out, I can still get him down and sweep. But let's really try to get used to coming up on our shoulder, locking our feet together on our side. You guys good? Okay? Let's go, guys. Partner up. 1, 2, 3. Once I get his knee to drop, especially when I first get his hip to drop and I have this lead, I can manage to get Guy to fall to the side. He's a little bit different, right? When I do the flower sweep, my hip is very engaged on Guy, right? I have my hip right on him. I use top leg as a pendulum, bottom leg, I use the heel on the armpit angle to get him down to either come up or even redo this arm bar, right? But when Guy's down, I have my hip still down on the floor, I'm not going to be able to raise my heel up to his armpit. But depending here, if I have this really tight, I could pendulum myself back to the side this way and kind of chop my heel in. And that could be enough to get Guy down. And once he's down, wow, it's the same thing. Doesn't change from when we did the sweep a couple weeks back. I'm going to extend through, bye back, settle down. If he gets swept and he tries to roll out as a way to defend, just keep rolling away. I can follow him into this tactical mount position, go around, retake his back, or even re-arm bar him. So this is something you guys should practice. Go back, push your left knee down your right gut before I push the shin. So if we're here, I'm playing with Guy, boom, I have his sleeve. I go and I clear. If I manage to pendulum out, and now look at how much I chop my, stay tight, how much I chop my heel in and I drop my knee. It's like my knee's going onto his chest. I can get him down. Just be careful because remember the way that I've been mentioning how to defend as the top guy. Go back on your knees, please. If Guy's here, or I'm here, we're here, and I take too long with his leg just hanging out, Guy could use his free hand to reach on my foot and stuff. And once he stuffs, okay, honestly, if I get enough momentum with my pendulum, this connection here is still strong enough to get him down, so you can still kind of play with it, but it's going to become a lot harder. Also because once he stuffs, if he's good, he's going to start grabbing my collar and putting weight, and that's going to become harder and harder. But I want you guys just to have that in mind and practice. You can practice with the leg out, you can practice with the leg in between right after their stuff, just so you know that it's not out, it's not gone, and you don't need to bail. And remember, if you are going to bail on this, use this leg. If you have this grip, bring this foot over, because then if you have to let go, at least you're back onto something where you're safe, right? Now, just going over again on the armbar there and the sweep that we've been working on, same thing, right, guys? We're using the momentum, trying to extend this through and lock our feet together. Now, the grip that I would rather have, just turn so everybody can see, the grip that I would rather have onto his arm over here would be through and onto my collar. I don't think grabbing his wrist itself right now is the best way to go. This is going to be more secure, and remember that it's not only about rolling, it's about bringing my shin across his face. Don't keep your back on the ground. So as my shin goes over, I'm going to face the floor, spin on my forehead, and he's going to have to roll with me. Now look here, a lot of times this happens. He comes up and gets shoulders off the ground, right? I feel like the best chance that I have of finishing his armbar with one hand is if I manage to use my leg to bring him down hard as I'm bridging. So I'm going to do it slow, but I'll go leg down, hip up all at once, and that way I feel like I have a very good shot of finishing without even letting go of the lapel. Here is where you guys have to make a decision. I've been talking about it. There's no right or wrong. I just got to feel what feels right depending on the scenario. Once I let this go, okay, I'm going to have an extra hand to work on the armbar, but that's the only thing I'm thinking about. I'm not going to be able to retake control over him with that grip. If I keep the grip, and for whatever reason, let's say Gee's left foot goes on the floor, he hips away from me and tucks his elbow, and boom, I lose the armbar. If I still have this, and my leg is across his hip over here, I can start posting, pulling my leg back behind me, and just being on top of him. So I've been really talking about this, guys, just so you see how maybe I go to the armbar, but it's a weak armbar, how I can retake position, and how I can keep transitioning through, okay? Now, how am I going to work the flower sweep? Use the armbar. So if we go into that armbar, or even if we don't, what would be Gee's reaction here? He's going to posture. Everyone's going to posture, even before the armbar. So if you're here and he starts posturing, okay, this time I'm not going to roll on my face. I'm going to dive back in, so I'm going to bring my head back inside. Biggest detail, pendulum your leg out, and look at my right leg. Remember what I talked about? Heel on the hip is good for that initial sweep. But for me to do flower, I want my heel to go onto his armpit so that either I can go back into the armbar or just to go on top, take him out, take whatever. Okay? Easy. So, so try to use the armbar there as the causer of his reaction to posture up. And then from there, we can work the flower, back to mount, to the side. You guys have been getting better and better at it by doing it this long, so it's kind of reviewing. The only thing that is new that I really haven't talked about is sweeping with your hip down. So try to give that a try too. If your hips go down, try to knock them over. Even if they stuff, try to knock them over. Just so you guys see how strong that grip and that connection is, even if you start getting someone behind. Okay? Let's go, guys. 1, 2, 3. If I'm going to get on top, or if I'm going to kind of stay seated for an armbar, is how I position this leg, right? So the concept here would be the same. I use this for momentum, for pendulum. I use this on the arm to get him down. If I sweep Gee and I keep this leg out, like I have it right now, okay, more realistic for me to step over, start attacking the arm, stay on his arm. If I want to get on top with this kind of sweep, I have to make sure that as I'm rocking this leg, that it's going under so I can come up on it and take the top, right? This is exactly the exact same thing happens when you guys have the lapel. So keep this in mind. If you're going here, boom, you're able to get your hip up onto Gee and you're sweeping. When you go sweep, when you're here, this leg's gonna pendulum, right? If you want to get on top, you should go low on Gee's body. So you go pendulum, go low so that I can come up on it. Sometimes I'm gonna land on both knees. Sometimes I'm gonna have this leg up on a technical mount position here. If I want to just stick to the armbar, then it's a little even easier because then I just have to kind of not do anything. I just use the pendulum, kick him, and let my leg be so that as he lands, I'm right on top of him, right? And the cool thing about the lapel is that even if we do this, even if we don't mean to do it, but we end up doing it, even if we don't have the arm, as long as I have this grip here, I can still pop back up easily, right? So just so you guys know that. We're going to start at 2-minute rounds, but I don't want you guys to be on that closed guard position yet. 1, so you guys work on getting there, and 2, so that he has a little bit of a better shot, and 3, so that you guys work on the attacks from here that I talked about today. So this is how we're going to start. I'm going to have the setup very well. I'm already going to have forced knees on the floor, so my leg is through, but I'm just down on my side. A couple things that I can do, right? I should try to use the momentum to go back to that lock guard position, or we're going to start exploring how strong this also is from the same spot over here. Things that Guy can do. I feel that if he's this far away from me, the kick back here with this leg is not going to be powerful enough to break my grip, but what he can do while he's like that is try to reach onto my foot and work on stuffing my leg. So it's good for you guys to kind of play with that, because we've been talking about that concept of stuffing the leg from different lapel positions, so something you guys are going to get more and more used to. So Guy should work on that. If he gets here, you should put a lot of pressure onto this collar so that I don't rock him down that way. Because remember, if he stuffs but he sits back, this is still strong to get him down to the other side. So I want the bottom person not to let them do it so that you can kind of counter, but if it happens, you have an answer, right? So 2 minutes top, 2 minutes bottom. Like always, guys, if you lose the grip or you're still playing guard, keep going until someone scores. But especially for this one, try to stay on the lapel. Be annoying. Even if it kind of costs you a little bit, just play with it so that you force yourself to practice. Okay? Let's go, guys. 1, 2, 3.